next. Now, as I'm getting some of this settled up and we're gonna bring in some new things, bakeries today are going crazy because it's Valentine's Day. So they've got, everything from chocolate treats to various chocolate dipped strawberries going on. So everybody's got a very busy day today with this stuff happening. So I wanted to find someone that I could talk about a variety of things. And bread obviously goes with wine and goes with cheese, but I also wanted to make sure that we could find someone that had some unique things. And I stumbled upon, thanks to my good friend Jim Verity, I stumbled upon Anthony from Bagel Express. Now, Bagel Express has got 2 locations, and I'm going to Anthony to fill us in on this, but he's been doing this for a little while, so I'm excited to welcome him in, and we'll start to bring him in now, and then we'll get into this whole variety of breads he produces and the bagels, which are amazing. Whoa!
Hey.
Check this out. Now that is some bread. Look at that. Bagels, I want to put this down so I can see this. How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Pleasure. Thanks
So-
for having me.
You're very welcome. This is awesome. And I know I got some other stuff I'm going to bring on here, and I'm going to slide in the back because I want to showcase these awesome cookies. We've got some Valentine's Day colors going on. So, Anthony, you've been doing this not for, a little while now, right?
Oh, yeah.
How many years have you been doing this?
We've been in the business 23 years.
23 years. Where was your first location?
We started on Smith Street in North Providence.
In North Providence. And now you got North Providence and Federal
And
Hill.
we opened on Broadway and Federal Hill, yes.
So, Federal Hill, we like to grab a lot of good places up there from, obviously, but this is the type of place that thrives and does well. I stopped in the shop the other day, and it was packed when I went in, and it was the middle of the afternoon, so it was another great thing to see. But 23 years, you've been producing these type of things, and you've grown the business to not only 2 locations, but what you're carrying in these locations.
Yes, we expanded into a little bit of bread and little Italian bread, little brown bread that I made, a little secret recipe.
So this is the secret recipe
That
right
is
here.
it.
Now, you got the Italian bread, the brown bread, and then what are these over here? Because
Those
this is
are
something,
bagel breads, we
Bagel
call them.
breads.
And they're made with the bagel product, and they make a great sandwich.
so that's what I was gonna ask you. So one of the things that I got comments on is that everybody says these are the most amazing things, and people are using these for their hoagies, for their grinders, for all this different stuff, right?
Yeah, oh, yes.
Look
yes.
at that. I'm gonna bite into one of these in just a minute here in a second. So tell us about each location, because they're a little bit different at each location, and your bakery is at the one in
Smith Street.
in Smith Street. So tell us about each location.
Well, in North Providence on Smith Street, we've been there, like I said, about 23 years. And that's where everything's made.
Oh my God.
So we make bread, we do pastry. Our main thing is bagels, but we've been trying to expand out to a little bit of bread now because everybody's asking for it. And, so we make a little bit of pastry, and then we started to notice that business was getting better, so we wanted to expand out a little bit, and we found a good location on Broadway, and it's kind of been a great success so far.
So at any given time, you've got probably 3 or 4 different types of breads, because I know you said you carry some
Yeah.
holiday breads, you got these bagel ones. Where did, the thought started with the bagels, and then went to the breads, you were
Yes.
saying. How many different bagels do you carry?
I have like 15 different kinds.
15.
And we can make more, but you try to keep it,
Compact so people
Yeah.
have the space for you. So 15 different kinds of bagels, and every day both shops are stocked with them.
Yes,
And the breads are in there too, because I know when I went in the one in North Providence, these breads were out there and ready to go.
right.
So-
North Providence mainly bread, and we're working on moving it up to
To
Broadway.
To Broadway, to Federal Hill. So when you put all this together and you're making these, did you see the expansion happening? Did you know that you were going to reach this point 23 years ago when you're thinking about all this now? As I'm eating this great bread.
I know, thanks. As we first opened, the bagel business was booming, and then as the years went on, bakeries and
Markets, yeah.
everybody started making bagels, and so kind of the little mom and pop stores kind of started to slow down a little bit. But now over the last 5-10 years now, a lot of the places went out of business, and so the little pop and
staples,
pops are
yeah.
starting to come back now, and people are they want the good stuff. So we try to keep all our product top line, and
And this top line, I'm tasting like an unbelievable butter and garlic. Is that what it is? Butter and garlic?
that
on
one
top?
there, no.
What am I tasting? It's unbelievable.
Just, we use a good ingredients, and it's kind of a, I don't want to say a secret recipe. but
Everything's
we
a
use-
secret recipe. I can
Yeah.
never get any answers out of bakers.
Yeah.
All right, so in diving down into this and slicing up the breads and stuff like that, you've got to have something that's been your fun to do. Was this a creation of yours that came up that's just been fun to do to produce?
Yeah, that was something that when we first opened, my mother started that, and it's been going on ever since.
The size of these things, they're massive to be able to do it. All right, so you're not going to tell me what's in this bread, okay?
Well, I will tell you.
You'll tell me what's in this
Yes,
brown
I-
bread. You're going to tell me.
That there is one day I was just fooling around and I added prune, apple, cinnamon, honey, and multigrain flour,
Okay.
and I don't put any sugars or anything, and then walnuts, and then when it's just about done, you add raisins, and it's sweet with all the fruits and everything that's in there, and it's fairly healthy for you.
Yeah, breads are always
And,
healthy for you.
It
And
makes just great toast, or just anyway with butter.
So when are you baking all these? Like, if you're baking the bagels and this, when do you start this process? Is it an early morning thing, or?
Yeah, the bagels are the first thing because that's our number one priority, and we got most of the equipment for that. And the bread we'll do after. And bread we usually do more towards the end of the week. We're kind of not in the beginning of the week,
Okay.
and it's catching on now, so we're kind of trying to grow that.
Now, the space that you've got, so obviously the Smith Street was the original location, that's a bigger location, the bakery's set up there. This thing's gotta be piled up with flour bags on a regular
No.
basis if you're in there doing this, right?
Yeah, it's getting there.
It's getting there.
Yeah, we got a little bit of room in the Smith Street, so the other second location on Broadway is more, we transport everything
Everything
there.
comes over to that one.
And, we try to, sometimes I have to make a couple of runs, so it's kind of working out good.
All right, now being that you're Italian, I know there's some Italian products that you've carried, and Anthony and I know each other through my good friend Jim Verity, and his sister and his wife, which you gotta say happy Valentine's Day to
Happy
her.
Valentine's Day, honey. Love you. And everybody else out there, all the pretty girls.
Now, talk to me about these, because this is the soft spot for me, these regatta cookies, so talk about
That's
this.
just a cookie I found online one day, and I guess I perfected it because when I make it, it's gone.
Really?
They're like heaven. You can't eat just one. And-
Now, you also have the deli,
Yep.
so people can come in, they can use these, make them into their sandwiches when they're there.
Yeah.
And then, is it calzones that I've seen a lot out there now?
Yeah, we make a little bit of calzones, and we do pizza, bakery pizza there, make our own, so everything's made there and from scratch, so that helps the
No,
quality.
Absolutely, the quality, that's going back to what we were talking about with Narragansett Creamery, is that bread, wine, and cheese all go together, but if you can support someone that is making this stuff locally and buy local, it becomes incredibly important. From the sourcing perspective of where you're getting the product to the people that they're employing. And I know that, each location's a different size, but you've got a decent sized team now going that you're responsible for at both locations. And I know that you were telling me you're in there baking sometimes, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm there mainly, I'm trying to get a couple people to learn how to, but you're kind of picky and.
Yeah, and it's hard to get them to follow in your footsteps to do it.
People don't work as hard as they should these days.
We hear that. Unfortunately, that's a skill that's got to get perfected out there. So, your perspective in doing this, and I know that you're Italian like I am, bread, wine, and cheese. You can easily have any of these with a nice bottle of wine.
Oh, yeah.
What's some of your favorite wine to enjoy?
Oh, I like a nice Chianti,
There you go.
some cheese and nice homemade bread.
Now, when you do the seasonal ones, we were talking about that before, that there's some that come out for special times of year. What are some of those?
Well, we'll do like a sweet bread for Easter,
Okay.
which is nice, and then there'll be like for St. Patty's Day, they do like a Irish soda bread. We do. So we have a special baker that comes in for that. He's kind of one of the old dinosaurs, I call him.
And he's got that skill of knowing how to make that
yes,
product.
Yeah, there's not many left like him. He's a machine.
Wow.
And, he enjoys it, so he still does it.
Now, the sweet bread that comes out for Easter, there was a name that I always heard of when I was growing up, like the gazzadil type with is that the frosting on it, or how is this one set
Yeah,
up that you do?
you put a little bit of the glaze frosting on it, and you can sprinkle the Jimmy's type
Jimmy's
on
sprinkle
there.
on, yeah.
And, some people like it plain, so you can leave a few plain.
Now, from a perspective of getting these things, can they order these in advance if they're trying to do it for a party? That was another question I had out there. So,
Yeah, I mainly try to take orders, for the holidays and stuff. That way everybody can get what they want, and then I make enough for the people that just walk in, so it kind of works.
Now, do you find that it's growing? I mean, obviously you went to the second location, but do you find that which you've done so far has been successful, that it continues to grow?
Yes, I'm having a lot of good feedback, and business is getting better. And everybody likes what they get, and they keep asking me to make more, and I'm.
Yeah, so about that asking me more, is there plans in the future to try to grow some of the things you want to do?
I think about it.
You think about it?
Getting up there, so it's like somebody to follow my footsteps. I got a son out there that hopefully someday maybe.
But from a product standpoint, is there something that you want to do, that you want to add to the list of things that you're producing?
Kind of good with what I got. I kind of like to keep a small and keep it good.
Right.
You know, instead of getting too much variety and then
So now with today being Lent, that Easter bread he's talking about
Yeah.
that's gonna be coming out, the sweet bread, so that's something that people should look for to come out and think about buying towards the holidays. And getting into all this and doing it, when they come in, and you said mostly weekends right now that the bread's available, right?
right.
Okay. Can they, and I ask this because I know it's a silly question, but from the slicing perspective, do they come in and grab the loaves and take them home, or do you guys have the slicers in there?
I can slice bread for people, yeah. We, you know, if they want it sliced, we'll slice it. If not, you can just take it right off the counter.
And have you found that people will come in and ask you to slice and use these to make the sandwiches
Oh,
right while
yeah.
you're there?
Yes,
That's
yeah,
what I was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say.
And, you know, in our little deli that we have, we use all boar's head, so it's, you know, we try to use the good quality of everything, so.
Now, the style in the one in Providence is more of smaller. It's like a smaller cafe to come into the windows and mostly take and go. Is the Smith Street the same same way?
Yeah, Smith Street is a little more, you can sit down a little bit. And Broadway, yeah, well, we have seats and everything, but it's a little more quicker, in and out,
Yeah, it's quick
express
cafe
type
style.
thing, yeah.
But in Smith Street, it's the larger one to be able to
Yes,
come in and sit down.
yeah, yeah. And you kinda got a good atmosphere, so it's kinda nice to look around and watch a few things that are in there.
Now, is that the spot that you've been in for the longest? That
Yes,
Smith Street's
yeah,
the 23
we've been
years?
there 23.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
How did you get into this? How did you decide that you wanted to start doing this? Because
well,
it's 23
that's
years. I mean, it's
interesting.
been here.
Yeah. Well, when we first started, it was my mother and her boyfriend there, husband, and they decided with another couple, they decided to start a bagel shop in Marco Island. And they ended
Marco
up coming.
Island?
Yeah, and we have the first bagel shop on Marco Island, and it's still there. And now, then somehow they had partners, and it didn't kind of work out. So my mother came back, and she asked me if I wanted to help her get it started, and then that's kind of where we are now.
So it became a family affair with you
Yeah,
coming in and
yep.
assisting your mother.
Yes, it's family, and now, you know, my mother got a little tired, so I took over, and now she works for me.
And I'm sure she's okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
she's all right.
she's really the boss, but I just listen to what she says, you know.
Now, did she have a background in baking? Was it something that she was passionate about, or just again happened upon doing this and it got started that way?
No, we worked in the restaurant business our whole life, so as we were growing up, I guess we learned how to, you know, cater to people a little bit, and then you just, it's like anything, if somebody teaches you, you know, if you pay attention, I mean, you can learn how to do anything.
Now, have you had people reach out to you about that, about trying to sell to restaurants, businesses, about buying your product in the bagels?
Yes, I have a few wholesales all around Providence, and I have a few other people that I'm interested, but sometimes.
It's kind of, you want to grow at a steady
Yeah,
pace to make sure that it.
Yeah, I kind of like to keep my area going strong, you know, and, you know, make sure my store's good.
Before I let you go, because I want to make sure we get into this, let's talk
Right.
about what some of these kind of bagels are, because we got a whole bunch of them back here. So what are some of the bagel varieties that you produce?
Well, we got, one of our most popular one is spinach, which a lot of people really don't make.
Yeah.
And that's made with, you know, fresh spinach, and it's got garlic and everything, so that people really love them. We
What's
have
the
an
name?
everything bagel, which is a #1 seller.
This one is massive.
Sunflower, which is becoming quite popular.
Then we've got some plain ones,
And
right?
plain is like the #1, you know, surprisingly, but it's
People still go for
excellent.
the plain one to do it.
Yes, they do.
So what are some of the other kinds that we didn't get into?
And we do like a cinnamon sugar and cheddar cheese with jalapenos.
Oh, wow.
And every once in a while, somebody will ask for something special, and I'll try to make it for them.
The spinach
And,
one looks unbelievable.
Oh, they're delicious.
Add some healthiness to it, just like the
Right.
bread. You got to add some
Oh,
healthiness
yeah.
to it. Well, this was fantastic. I really appreciate you taking the time to come in and talk to us. Well, you know, you said you like Chianti with your bread. Are you
Oh,
the
yeah.
kind of guy that sits down and eats the cheeses like I do and sit down and enjoy it?
I'm gonna sit down with you later on and have some bread and cheese right here and
That's
wine.
awesome. I'm all
Yeah.
for it. All right, thank you, my friend. This was fantastic to have
Thank
you
you
come
very
in.
much.
Really appreciate it.
All right.
Let's slide this thing out of here. I'll be eating some bread and some cheese
Yeah.
tonight. Next, we'll get to the wine.
Good.
You got it?
Got it.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Let's slide that one over there. Thank you. Well, if you weren't hungry before this, I can't imagine that, you know, you're not hungry now, because I've been eating the cheese and the bread the whole time going through this. And